Okay, so we're on to the new topic, the fun one. I like to think it's not as mathy. It is when we talk about the mean, the median, and the mode, so the 3 M's, and they're actually called measures of central tendency. So you actually know the mean, you've heard of it before because it's another word for average. So our mean is the same as taking the average of the numbers that we're given, the average of our data, the average of the grades, the average of the ages of the people in the class, the average height, the average weight. How do we take the average? Well, you add up all the terms and then you divide by the number of terms, and that's what we're going to call n. When we do these problems, we're always going to list the terms out, and then we're going to count them, and I'm going to write n equals 5 because there are 5 terms. And that makes sure that I divide by the right number and make sure that I've listed them all out and I'm not forgetting anything. Okay? So the mean is the average. The median is our middle number. So when you look to find the median, you want to list your numbers from least to greatest. So in chronological order or numerical order. So a lot of times we give you numbers that aren't listed in order, so your first job is to list them in order. So you list them in order from least to greatest, and then you find the middle number. Now, that seems quite easy, usually it is. The problem is when you have two numbers that are in the middle. And this occurs when your n, your number of terms, is even. So you're going to have two numbers in the middle if I have 6 terms, and you're going to have two numbers in the middle if you have 10 terms. But if you have 9 terms, you're fine. You're just always going to find a middle number. So when you have two numbers in the middle, then you actually just take the mean of those two numbers. So that's why we learn mean first. So we just take the average of the two numbers in the middle. And don't worry, we're going to do examples. I just want to give you the basic definitions. So to repeat, the mean is the average and the median is the middle number. That's all you need to know. Okay, if you need to keep writing things down, I'd hit pause now because I'm about to erase. So pause or not. So we're going to do the last one, which is mode. And the mode is just the most common number listed in your data set. And you can have no modes, you can have 1 mode, you can have 3 modes, you can have an infinite amount of modes. So unlike having 1 mean and 1 median, we can have many modes. So it's the most common number in your data set. And again, remember, you are allowed to have no mode, 1 mode, or 2 or more modes. It just really depends, because you can have numerous numbers repeat themselves. When we have 2 modes, so 2 modes, we call that bimodal. Remember, bi means 2. So if you have a bimodal data set, that means there are 2 modes. Okay? So the mode is simply just the most common number in your data set. Mean is the average. Median is the middle number. Mode is the most often occurring. Okay, so I'm going to erase. Again, hit pause if you need to write this down, because now we're going to do some examples. So I'm going to give you a data set where we're going to find all 3 of them. And sometimes, you know, it depends on what your data is as to if you want to look at the mean or the mode or the median to really understand the data. It truly just depends. Okay, So this is in numerical order. I want to be nice. So for example, we have 5, 6, 7, 7, 9, 10, 12, and 16. Okay? So let's find our mean. Well, remember the mean is the average, so we're just going to add up all our terms. So I'm going to do 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 7 plus 9 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16. And then I'm going to divide by the number of terms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So n, my number of terms, equals 8. So I'm going to divide by 8. The good news is we usually let you guys use a calculator. So you're going to find that on the numerator, it adds up to some lovely number, specifically 72. And that you have 72 divided by 8, which is 9. So our mean is 9. Our average is 9. Now our median, I'm not going to rewrite the data set. I want to show you how I want you to do it. We call it rainbowing it, where we make rainbows. So we go from the first number to the last number, second to the last, so on and so forth. Now notice that, as I told you, we have an even number of data sets. So that means that we're going to have our middle numbers be 2. So when I have 2 numbers in the middle, I actually have to take the average. So for the median, I'm going to say that it's 7 plus 9 divided by 2. 7 plus 9 is 16, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So our median equals 8. Okay? Now our mode should be fairly easy to assess. What number is repeated often? Well, I only have 1 5, 1 6, I have 2 7s, so that's looking like a contender. 1 9, 1 10, 1 12, 1 16, and sure enough, just the 7. So we have a mode of 7, just one mode, and that is 7. Notice that our numbers are pretty similar, that our mean is 9 and our median is 8 and our mode is 7. And that's just telling us that we don't have a lot of variance here, that not a lot of things are changing. Sometimes it's helpful though, not just to look at the mean, median, and mode, but to look at what we call the range. So the range of our data, range of data. Well, the range is where you find your maximum number and you subtract it, well, you subtract the minimum number, so your smallest. So largest, smallest. So in this case, my largest number is 16 and my smallest number is 5. So my range is 11. And that just means that the difference between my max and my min, my highest and my lowest scores, was 11. So in school, when we look at grades and we grade papers, we really don't want a large range. We want you guys to kind of test closely together. But all of a sudden, if I realize that I have a lot of people in the 20s and then some people in the hundreds, there's something wrong, that I'm not teaching properly, or I have some kids that I really need to worry about it. I like it when my range is nice and small. Okay? All right. I'm going to put another data set up, and I want you to try this one on your own. So let's see, what would be lovely? So this is not in order, so beware. So we're going to do 25, 30, 40, 25, 50, and then 40. And I'm going to ask you to find your mean, your median, your mode, and then let's find the range to see how different everything is. Okay? So go ahead, hit pause, attempt to do this on your own, and then when you're ready, come on back. And hopefully you've now come back. So my first step is I need to rewrite this data set because I have to order from least to greatest. So I'm going to write 25, and as I do it, I'm going to cross what I've written out so I make sure that I get them all. And then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n equals 6 here. So let's really hope I have 6 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure enough, n equals 6. So I got all my data points. So to find my mean, I'm going to add everything up and divide by 6. So 25 plus 25 plus 20, oops, not plus 25, plus 30, apologize, plus 40, plus 40, plus 50, all over the number of terms, which is 6. And with your handy dandy calculator, you should get that it's 210 over 6, and that equals 35. So my mean, my average is 35. My median, we're going to do the rainbow. Now, the other way of doing the rainbow is just to cross things out, but make sure you can still kind of see the numbers. Or you can underline them. So you kind of go here and here, here and here. And you realize, again, since it's even, I'm going to have 2 numbers in the middle. So I'm going to have to take the mean of them. And sure enough, my median is the same as my mean. Doesn't always happen, but it's kind of cool. Now my mode, well, what do I look at? I looked at, see, this is why I don't like doing the cross out thing. I'd rather do the rainbow because it's kind of hard to tell. But I have a pair of 25s and I have a pair of 40s. So I have 2 numbers that have 2 of themselves. So this mode is truly bimodal because there are 2 modes. And they are 25 and 40. And this is what your answer would be. You just list both. Okay? Now to find the range, remember you take the highest number, which is 50, and then you subtract the lowest number, which is 25. So my range is 25. So I have a mean of 35, a median of 35, a mode of 25 and 40, and a range of 25. Hopefully this seems pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, go ahead and write them out and we'll go over them tomorrow. But that should cover it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck.